Welcome to the only daily podcast focusing on compliance news of the day. Each morning, start your day with a cup of coffee and Tom Fox, the voice of compliance, to hear about 4 of the top compliance, corruption, or leadership stories you will need to start your day. The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network.
December 22, 2020, the Accuses edition. And we begin with that story from GeekWire, first-time contributor to the Daily Compliance News. Amazon accuses the Trump administration and Trump of corruption as the only plausible explanation for Microsoft winning a $10 billion cloud deal. In newly unsealed court filings, Amazon blames extraordinarily environment of corruption, interference, and retribution by the president directly for improperly influencing the Department of Defense to reaffirm its decision to award a $10 billion cloud computing project to Microsoft. They said that the DoD strained at every step to ensure that Microsoft was given the benefit of the doubt and scoured the record to invent wholly new and even specious reasons to support maintaining the award to Microsoft where the proposals and the evaluation criteria did not meet. Officials held Amazon and Microsoft to different standards, allowing Microsoft to retain the contract despite its inferior technical capability and higher price, Amazon alleges. It calls the errors so egregious they can only be explained by the president's anti-Amazon bias on DoD decision makers, and of course, campaign contributions. Next up, from NBCnews.com, they, in an article entitled, Congress Passes a Bipartisan Bill That Actually Fights Corruption. How did they do that? That's a very good question for this Congress, who has done nothing but affirm judges. Yet last week, there was the National Defense Authorization Act, and folded into the bill is the Corporate Transparency Act, a major bipartisan measure for the first time would end the formation and use of anonymous shell companies in the United States. It's the most significant AML and anti-corruption upgrade the U.S. has seen in a generation. While many Americans assume that AML and financial crimes are primary problems for Caribbean islands and tax jurisdictions, the U.S. ranks number 2 in financial secrecy. So it's good to see Congress actually do something, of course, anything really, but it's great to see them do it in the anti-corruption realm. From the New York Times, Google denies antitrust claims in an early response to the U.S. antitrust lawsuit. It said on Monday it had not used its multi-billion-dollar deals with other large tech firms to protect its position as the dominant online search engine in response to the DOJ's accusations. The 42-page document denies the claims by the government and says Google says it developed continually and innovated and promoted. Of course, we'll have to see how that plays out in court. And finally, the UK regulator, the Financial Conduct Authority, has fined Charles Schwab unit $12.1 million over client assets. It said that Charles Schwab UK had failed to protect client assets. The watchdog said that the financial services company carried out a regulated activity without the correct permission and sent the FCA, that's the Financial Conduct Authority, incorrect information when they were queried on this. So black eye for Charles Schwab. Certainly in the United Kingdom, it's unclear if this will bleed over into the United States, but a pretty significant slap by the UK Financial Conduct Authority in the UK. The Daily Compliance News is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network and a proud member of C-Suite Radio. Thanks so much for listening. I hope you'll join me again tomorrow.